Alright, I wasn't gonna do this, but I got a video kinda request from Dante One Savage, either from John or Jim, I don't know which one, but they wanted to know what my WrestleMania predictions were, and I really wasn't going to do this because it's tomorrow, and I really don't. Uh, it's just really looking kinda predictable, the whole show, and I really, I don't know, just really wasn't interested. I haven't been interested in a WrestleMania since WrestleMania 20. And what I mean by interested, I mean like the whole show's good, like front to back, start to finish, good. I don't think there's been one like that since WrestleMania 20. I mean, there's always a good match, last year Taker versus Shawn Michaels and Money in the Bank, great matches. And the Rick wait, I don't think was it Taker versus Shawn Michaels last year? I think yeah, it was. Yeah, well, yeah, it was. But yeah, like I don't know, just I haven't been excited about WrestleMania since last WrestleMania 20. That was the last one. And think about it back then, like John Cena was still fighting for the US championship back in WrestleMania 20, where I'm not going to say he should still be there, but I don't hate John Cena, but like people like him and Batista, they're not on the level of The Rock and Stone Cold and shit like that to me because I'm from the '90s, and those are the people I idolized, and Mankind, people like that. Even Triple H, even though he's kind of a owner of the company, if you think about it, I really, he still is way better than he's not on the level, like they're not on his level, as a legend, especially not on Undertaker's level. That's why I'm glad Undertaker's never been beaten by John Cena or Batista or anybody like that. But anyway, let me get started on this before I run out of time. On these pictures, you might have noticed that I've gotten rid of the WWE symbol in every picture. I might even do a whole video on that, why I hate that symbol. It's almost like looking at a swastika to me, like because it still looks like the WWF symbol except with, you know, like it's a dick chopped off basically. And I can't look at it. It makes me mad because it represents what it used to be, but now it's been castrated and turned PG if you think about it. But anyway, let me get started on this thing. First match, this big Divas match. I really don't care about it. I don't like Mickie James. To me, she's a former porn star or some shit like that. Don't like her. Kelly's okay. Eve Torres, don't even care. Gail Kim's getting shit on because cause she's from TNA. The only one I like in the match is Beth Phoenix. I like Beth Phoenix. I think she should have the women's title like all the time. Like I don't know why, but I just think she should. Michelle McCool, Beautiful People ripoff. Layla, Beautiful People ripoff. Maurice, Beautiful People ripoff. Alicia Fox, and Vicky Guerrero, a disgrace to the Guerrero name and an abomination of God, pretty much. I hate fucking Vicky Guerrero. I don't care who wins this match. Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk. I think either one could win, to be honest. I really don't care. I could see Rey Mysterio in an angle having to join the Straight Edge Society, but, I really don't care. And as long as he doesn't take off his mask, which I don't think he'll do, he's not going to take off his mask. That's way too much money lost by, selling the mask for kids and all that shit. That's way too much money gone. And they fucked up by taking off Kane's mask years ago. I always thought they fucked up on that. And right before Kane did take off his mask, he had the most badass mask. Like, that was the coolest one where he was missing the mouthpiece and all that. That was the coolest Kane mask. But anyway, so what's next? Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes versus Ted DiBiase. I really don't give a shit about this match. I'm gonna say Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes because he has the Triforce on his shoes. He's a Zelda fanboy. Yeah, Cody Rhodes. So there you go. Triple H versus Sheamus. I'm hoping Sheamus, but Triple H doesn't lose at WrestleMania real often. But Sheamus is Triple H's buddy, just like Drew McIntyre is Triple H's buddy. So I think Drew McIntyre and Sheamus have more of a chance of beating Triple H than anybody else because they're friends. So, anyway, Shomiz versus John Morrison and R-Truth. I really don't care who wins this match. I think it's weird how Big Show has had the title for such a long time, the tag titles for such a long time now. They're kind of building him up as like the guy who carries everybody, or the guy who, you know, is being carried by somebody. I don't know. I think he kind of carries the person. Even though the Miz is okay. I respect the Miz because it's like I think he, like even when he was back on the real world, he wanted to be a wrestler, and he's doing that now. And I respect that. I mean, I respect that more than the way, John Cena looks at things. I mean, he wanted to be a wrestler, but he also wanted cars, and he likes cars. So, it's kind of, he seems like he's more in for the money, and the Miz is more in for, he wants to do that. But yeah, I could see either team winning this match. I like John Morrison and R-Truth. I'm surprised they're giving R-Truth a push since he's from TNA. They've been shitting on everybody from TNA, even Christian. But yeah, I really don't care who wins this. Big Show's getting higher and higher in the rankings of how long he's had the belt and how many times he's had the tag team belt. So he's kind of becoming kind of like Mr. Fuji. Like he used to be in a lot of tag teams with a lot of different people, or Billy Gunn. But anyway, next match, Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon. I want to see it, but the thing is, I don't think there's going to be any blood. I don't think there's no chair shots to the head. There's none of that shit. So forget about that. Won't be very violent because it has to stay PG unless they throw the rule book out at WrestleMania, which I don't think they will. But it won't be as good as WrestleMania 19's Hulk Hogan versus Vince McMahon. I have that on DVD. That's one of the only WrestleManias I think I have on DVD, and I love that match, Hulk Hogan versus Vince McMahon. If you haven't seen that, I would suggest looking that up because it'll probably be better than this Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon match. But I really do want to see Bret Hart. I want to see him come out. I want to see his entrance. I want to see it. Next, Money in the Bank. Okay, Christian versus Dolph Ziggler versus Kane versus Shelton Benjamin versus Jack Swagger versus MVP versus Matt Hardy versus Evan Bourne versus Drew McIntyre versus Kofi Kingston versus AJ Styles versus Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe. Oh fuck, wait, no, that would be one of those asylum matches, which is pretty much what they're turning this into. This is just like the Steel Asylum. They're just throwing in as many fucking people as they can. I mean, it is better than the Steel Asylum because it is a ladder match, but Jesus Christ, how many fucking people can you throw in there? I mean, Dolph Ziggler does not need to be in this match. Drew McIntyre doesn't need to be in this match. Why didn't you have them fight for the Intercontinental Belt or something like that, There's just certain people that don't need to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. There's too many people. I think Christian would win. I'd say I wouldn't care if Christian won. I wouldn't care if Shelton Benjamin won. MVP, I wouldn't care. Matt Hardy, Evan Bourne, I don't care. Kofi Kingston, I don't care. Any of them. Pick. Like, they're all, they all deserve a push, Maybe Christian and Matt Hardy more, but, they all need a push. Batista versus John Cena. This is them redoing Stone Cold versus The Rock back when The Rock threw the smoking skull belt off the bridge and The Rock was this cocky asshole and Stone Cold was like the hero. This is just a redo of that, and I hope Batista wins because he's only had the belt twice and maybe for 30 something days. That's it. John Cena's had it for over 800, almost 900 days, and he's only had it 6 times. So yeah, John Cena's held it 6 times and for 863 days to this day. That's longer than Bret Hart, Triple H, Stone Cold, Macho Man, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Kurt Angle, Undertaker, Ric Flair, Eddie Guerrero. The list just goes on. They're trying to make him beat Hulk Hogan's record of 2,185 days, I think, and he's held it 6 times. they're just trying to make Cena beat Hogan's record of having the belt the longest. And I want Batista to win because he's not even on the record yet, barely. And I don't know. I kind of like his character being a heel. Well, it's a lot better than me. I've never liked Batista at all. So yeah, I want Batista to win. But same with Chris Jericho versus Edge. Edge has held that belt a lot longer, and Jericho's only held it for I think less than 100 days or something like that. And only a couple reigns. Let Jericho retain. So Batista retain and Jericho retain. I don't care. And as for Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels has already said, I'm retiring, and telling all of his fucking friends he's retiring. So, you know who's gonna win that one. Undertaker again. Why would they waste 18 years of build-up on a character on one night? I just really don't get it. And, what the fuck, WrestleMania? What the fuck?